One of the things that amazes me about the Christmas story is how everyone is included. This story that we hear and tell every year, if we had been the first people to write it, the first people to tell it, the first people to remember it, how easy it would have been to make that story so small. It could have been just about people in one small town. It could have been about just people in one family. It could have been about just the people of Israel and no one else in the world. It could have been just about the people who were poor or just about the people who were rich. But in this story, as you read it, you find yourself in that story every time. You hear about a young woman who is getting married out of wedlock. You hear a man who wants to divorce his wife. You hear about an elderly woman who has spent years praying for a child and has been unable to have birth. You hear about two elderly people at the temple who their only hope is that salvation will come someday. You hear about people who worship the stars and do horoscopes. And it's like the one thing I can fill out anytime I fill out a dating app is you can't always do religion, but you can always do horoscopes. What's your sign? And even those people who have a completely different religion than us, they too are called in and invited to be a part of this. You hear about people who have different skin colors. You hear about an Ethiopian eunuch coming up and becoming part of the story. And if you're a white person and think you're not included, you hear about Paul going to Rome and in telling white people, hey, you're included in this story too. No matter who you are. You hear about poor people out on the hillside. You hear about immigrants as Jesus and his family head down to Egypt and become refugees and then have to eventually return only when it's finally safe for them to come back. Everyone is included in this story. The biggest part of the good news for me is no matter who you are, no matter where you find yourself in this world, no matter what's going on, no matter any of your identities, this story is for you. We have this promise that the light shines on the whole world, and it dispels the shadows throughout it, so that everyone, you here, the people driving past right now, the people on the other side of the world caught in war, that everyone is included and brought into God's grace and mercy. Let us sing and praise God for bringing everyone into this story. Will you please stand?
Thank you for joining us. Be sure to like if you heard good news and subscribe to stay up to date on the latest message. Peace be with you.